For many Americans, Craig Melvin begins the day with a familiar ritual, a calm voice, a steady presence, a sense that no matter how chaotic the world feels, there is still something reliable to hold on to. Over the years, his professionalism has never wavered, but with time, viewers began to notice something deeper, an added gravity behind the smile, a gentler patience in the pauses. It wasn't about age alone, it was about perspective. Beside Craig, always just out of frame, is Lindsay Charniak. Accomplished in her own right, she understands the demands of public life. Yet, like many couples who reach their 60s together, they've learned that the most important battles aren't fought under studio lights. They happen quietly, often around kitchen tables, in doctors' offices, and during late-night conversations when the future feels suddenly fragile. This quiet awareness echoes the journey of another American icon, Tom Hanks. When Tom Hanks publicly acknowledged living with type 2 diabetes, it shifted the conversation. Here was a man known for vitality, humor, and emotional depth, now openly discussing a condition that affects millions, especially later in life. Diabetes isn't dramatic. It doesn't arrive with a single moment of crisis. It settles in slowly, demanding daily attention, discipline, and humility. And that's what makes it so relatable. For viewers in their 60s, diabetes isn't an abstract concept. It's personal. It's the medication organizer on the counter, the careful reading of labels, the realization that health is no longer something you assume, it's something you actively manage. Craig Melvin understands that reality, even without a public diagnosis. Journalism, like chronic illness, teaches restraint. It teaches you to listen before reacting, to respect complexity, to understand that what people see is rarely the full story. Tom Hanks once admitted that for years he ignored the warning signs. Busy schedules, stress, poor habits disguised as normal life. That admission resonated because it sounded familiar. Many in their 60s look back and realize how often they pushed through fatigue, postponed checkups, or assumed tomorrow would always be there, until it wasn't. What redefines strength at this stage of life isn't denial, it's responsibility. Tom Hanks didn't frame diabetes as a tragedy, he framed it as a turning point, a reason to slow down, to take ownership, to model a different kind of masculinity, one rooted in care, not invincibility. Lindsay Charniak represents the quiet force that often makes that shift possible. In long-term partnerships, health becomes shared territory, not managed alone, but together. Meals change, schedules adjust, priorities realign. Love at this stage is practical, it's protective, it shows up in reminders, compromises, and patience. Craig Melvin's on-air presence reflects that maturity. There's no rush anymore, no need to dominate the moment. Instead, there's balance, and that balance speaks directly to viewers who are navigating similar terrain. Retirement decisions, changing bodies, and the realization that energy must be spent wisely. Diabetes, like many chronic conditions, forces a reckoning. It asks hard questions. How do you want to live the rest of your life? What truly matters? What are you willing to change? Tom Hanks answered those questions not with fear, but with clarity. He continued working, continued creating, but with boundaries, with awareness, with respect for the body that carried him this far. That lesson lands powerfully for those watching from home. Because the truth is, aging doesn't mean shrinking. It means refining. It means letting go of what no longer serves you, be it habits, expectations, or the need to appear unaffected. Craig and Lindsay, like Tom Hanks, embody a version of success that feels earned, not flashy. One built on endurance, honesty, and adaptation. For a generation raised to believe toughness meant silence, these stories offer permission to speak, to acknowledge limitations without shame, to understand that asking for help is not weakness, it's wisdom. And perhaps most importantly,
They remind us that health isn't the end of the story, it's the setting in which the story continues. Life beyond 60 is not about perfection, it's about presence, about choosing longevity over ego, about loving well, living deliberately, and redefining what it means to be strong, one thoughtful day at a time.